It was a busy morning in the heart of Los Angeles when Elon Musk found himself strolling through the crowded downtown streets. Dressed casually in a black hoodie, dark jeans, and, of course, his infamous MAGA hat, he walked with the same confidence that had made him a household name. Despite his fame, Elon preferred to blend in, especially when he was on his own. As he approached a street corner, he noticed a young black woman sitting on the sidewalk. She was holding a cardboard sign that read, "Anything helps." Her clothes were worn, her face tired, but her eyes sparkled with a mix of curiosity and hope. Elon stopped in his tracks, a brief moment of hesitation flickering across his face. He had always tried to remain grounded, understanding that not everyone had the luxuries he did. But this time, something felt different. The young woman looked up and caught his eye. There was no hesitation in her voice when she called out, "Hey, mister, can you give me $1?" Elon was taken aback, momentarily caught off guard by the bluntness of her request. He had expected the usual routine, maybe a smile or a polite exchange, but this felt different. It was direct, unguarded. For a brief second, he wondered if she recognized him, but she didn't seem to care. "Just $1," she repeated, her voice calm but firm, as if she had asked for far more before and understood the odds were slim. Elon paused, looking down at her. He could feel the weight of the situation, the rawness of the encounter. Here was a woman, standing in the heart of a city filled with contradictions, asking for something so small, yet so powerful. A simple $1 could be life-changing for her, or for anyone. He opened his wallet, but before he could hand her the money, something made him stop. His gaze shifted to the people walking by, oblivious to the woman's plight. The scene felt like a sharp contrast, the wealthy and the homeless, side by side, but worlds apart. With a slow, deliberate motion, Elon put his wallet back in his pocket and crouched down in front of her. The young woman looked at him, raising an eyebrow. She had clearly dealt with her fair share of dismissive stares and empty promises. Elon smiled gently. "You don't need $1, he said, his voice soft but unwavering. "What you need is an opportunity." The woman's eyes widened slightly. She didn't know how to respond, her face a mixture of surprise and confusion. Was this some kind of joke? A rich man in a MAGA hat, making a speech about opportunities? Didn't make sense. But Elon wasn't finished. "I've built companies that are trying to change the world, but there's one thing I've learned. Money isn't the answer. It's what you do with it, how you use your time, how you connect with people." The woman stared at him, not sure if she should laugh or listen. This was not the conversation she had expected, but something in Elon's tone made her pause. For the first time in a while, she was listening, not just hearing words. Elon stood up, his face serious now, no trace of humor. "What if I told you that if you really wanted $1, I could give you more than that? But first, you need to think about what you really want." She blinked, unsure how to respond. Was he for real? Why was he asking her about her dreams, her life, when all she needed was a simple $1? She wasn't sure what he was getting at, but the moment had taken a turn she wasn't expecting. "Think about it," Elon added, turning to walk away. $1 is just the beginning." And with that, he disappeared into the crowd. The woman sat there, still holding her sign, her mind racing with questions. What had just happened? Was it real? Days passed, but the woman couldn't shake the encounter from her mind. Every time she stood on that street corner, asking for spare change, Elon's words echoed in her head. $1 is just the beginning. Her name was Tasha, and life hadn't been easy for her. She'd been homeless for over a year after losing her job and struggling to make ends meet. The city had chewed her up and spit her out, like it did to so many others. But Elon's words? They weren't just a passing gesture. They felt different. It was the afternoon when Tasha was sitting on the sidewalk, again, staring at the same familiar faces walking by, that she noticed something unusual. A sleek black car pulled up in front of her. The windows rolled down, and a voice she recognized called out, "Tasha?" She turned, expecting it to be someone else, maybe a friend, someone who knew her from before. But instead, it was Elon Musk. The car was parked right in front of her, and the door swung open. Elon stepped out, no longer in his hoodie and MAGA hat, but wearing a sharp suit, his face serious and focused. "Can we talk?" he asked, his voice calm yet intense. Tasha stood up, unsure if this was some kind of trick, or if she had lost her mind. Elon Musk, of all people, was standing in front of her. She hadn't expected this. She couldn't even put together why he was here. "Sure, I guess," she said cautiously, taking a small step back. Elon gestured for her to join him in the car, but Tasha hesitated. The idea of stepping into a stranger's car was terrifying, especially one that screamed luxury. But there was something in his eyes that told her this wasn't some ordinary rich man just trying to show off. Reluctantly, she slid into the back seat. Elon sat across from her, not saying anything for a moment. The silence between them was heavy. Tasha's heart raced, unsure of what to expect. Finally, Elon spoke. "I want to help you, Tasha." She looked at him puzzled. "Help me? You already gave me $1. Elon nodded, his face unreadable. "I know, but I meant what I said. $1 is just the beginning. What if I told you that I could give you the opportunity to change your life?" Tasha stared at him, her mind spinning. The idea of escaping this life, of doing something more than just surviving day by day, felt almost impossible. "How?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Elon leaned forward, his eyes locked on hers. "You have potential, Tasha. You just need the right tools. I'm offering you a chance to work for one of my companies. Not just as an employee, but as someone who has a real impact." Tasha blinked, not sure if she was hearing him right. "Work? For you? But I'm homeless. I don't have any experience." Elon smiled, a small but knowing smile. "Experience is something we can build together. You just need the right environment. You've got the drive, I can see that. What you've been through shows me you've got strength. Now, I want to give you the resources to turn that into something big." She couldn't process it. It felt like a dream. People like her didn't get these kinds of chances. She was just another face on the street, someone people ignored or avoided. But Elon Musk was offering her a lifeline, something she never thought possible. "I don't know what to say," she whispered, her eyes welling up with emotion. "Why me?" Elon leaned back in his seat, his expression thoughtful. "Because I see something in you that you probably don't see in yourself yet. I've built my empire on second chances. You're not defined by where you are now, Tasha. It's about where you want to go." She was speechless, overwhelmed by the sudden shift in her reality. Could this really be happening? Was she really sitting in a car with one of the richest men in the world, talking about a future she had never dared to imagine? "I'll give you time to think about it," Elon added, breaking the silence. "But just know that this offer isn't just about a job. It's about giving you control over your own future." He handed her a business card. "Call me when you're ready." With that, Elon Musk stepped out of the car, leaving Tasha to process everything that had just happened. She watched him walk away, her heart racing. She had been offered something she never thought possible. As the car disappeared down the street, Tasha sat there for a moment, staring at the card in her hand. The reality of it was sinking in. Her life could change. Just like that. All because of one unexpected encounter. The next few days felt like a blur. Tasha couldn't stop thinking about the conversation with Elon. She kept playing the words over in her head. You're not defined by where you are now. It's about where you want to go. The opportunity he had given her seemed unreal. It was like a light in a world that had always been dark for her. But despite the excitement, doubt crept in. Was she really ready for this? Could she? Someone who had been living on the streets for so long truly transform her life? The fear of failure gnawed at her. What if she couldn't live up to Elon's expectations? What if she was just a project to him, someone he could help for the sake of his image? What if she failed? Again. That night, Tasha lay awake in the small, musty room she had found in a shelter. The hum of the air conditioning and the muffled sounds of people talking in the hallway were a familiar comfort. Yet she couldn't settle. Every noise, every movement, felt like a reminder that her past had caught up with her. She'd seen people try to escape their situations, only to fall back into the same patterns. What if that happened to her? The next morning, she couldn't shake the thoughts. As she walked through the crowded streets, she saw people going about their lives, busy with their jobs, their families. They didn't even notice her. They didn't care. In her mind, she was still the girl sitting on the sidewalk, asking for spare change. But then, she looked down at the business card Elon had given her. The stark contrast between her life now and the life he was offering her was almost too much to comprehend. It felt like a different world. Tasha finally made a decision. She had nothing to lose. She was tired of just surviving. She picked up her phone, her fingers trembling as she dialed the number on the card. The phone rang for what felt like an eternity before the line clicked, and Elon's voice came through. Tasha, you ready to talk? She took a deep breath. Yes, I'm ready. The next few days passed quickly. Tasha met with Elon and his team. They were kind but professional, never treating her like a charity case. They saw potential in her, something she had always struggled to see in herself. Elon personally mentored her, showing her how to think bigger, how to focus on solutions, and how to use her past struggles as fuel for her future. Her first project was with one of Elon's companies, focused on social impact and innovation. She was assigned to a team that was working on sustainable housing for low-income families. It felt like a perfect fit. For the first time in years, Tasha felt like she wasn't just existing. She was contributing. Her ideas were listened to and her voice mattered. The work was hard, but it was rewarding. She was surrounded by people who believed in her, who were willing to invest in her future. As the weeks passed, Tasha found herself growing. She started to believe that she could achieve something greater. The weight that had burdened her for so long, the fear, the hopelessness, began to lift. She was no longer just a person asking for change on the streets. She was a part of something bigger, something that could change her life and, in the process, the lives of others. But just when she thought everything was falling into place, she received a call. It was from a reporter, asking about the homeless woman who was now working for Elon Musk. The world was starting to take notice, and suddenly, the pressure was on. Tasha knew that she was on the verge of something incredible, but she also feared the attention. Would people expect too much from her? Would they see her as just a feel-good story? Or could she really prove herself? Elon's voice came through the line. Tasha, remember, it's not about what others think. It's about what you believe. You've got everything it takes to keep moving forward. Don't let anyone else's expectations define your success. His words felt like a weight off her shoulders. For the first time, Tasha realized that it wasn't about proving anything to anyone else. It was about her journey, her growth. She took a deep breath and smiled to herself. She was ready for whatever came next. The world was finally opening up to her, and she wasn't going to let fear hold her back anymore. The transformation wasn't just about the job. It was about reclaiming her power, her dignity, and her future. And now, she was unstoppable.